gentlemen. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. We're
Howdy.
back. Yeehaw. We're back. It should be a little bit.
that's amazing.
Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Walking My Wheels, the podcast that talks about anything that has absolutely no structure. Me rolling through life with some pretty awesome friends. We're in chill mode right now. Kind of relaxing. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to be back, man. I've missed that introduction.
Yeah.
Introduction.
I know. Hashtag words right out the gate.
I know.
It's good.
Introduced.
You didn't gauge that very well.
One thing I do want to bring up is I forgot to bring it up last week was we hit 2,000 podcasts, my friends, over the summer break.
Well, 2,000 downloads.
2,000 downloads. I apologize. Yep.
2,000 downloads. That is awesome.
So we were at like 34 podcasts, and as a whole, we had 2017 at that point. So yeah, man, things are good, and we got that support, and so the listening audience out there, we truly want to thank you for listening to our nonsense and babbling.
Yeah, because it's mostly babbling and nonsense.
That's exactly what it is.
It really is. Our conversations about Metallica, Star Wars, and what else?
That's about it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Music.
Your mom jokes.
Mostly your mom jokes.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But what does all this mean?
What does it mean, right?
What does it mean?
Who are we as people, right?
I mean, is there really a we?
Is it maybe there's more of a we than where there is?
I mean, I like
playing
the Wii Sports game.
I think it's spelled a little differently, but.
Oh no! Dial 911. We have an emergency. Wee.
Oh no!
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry.
It was cute on a third grade level.
Well,
yeah,
you got to set the bar low so you can keep chirping over
exactly.
it.
We do have 2,000 downloads, so somebody's got to fit in that spectrum.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of blows my mind. In a year, we've done that. It's a.
I know, man.
That's impressive. I'm proud of us, dude. I think we done a good job. I think our podcasts have been kind of all over the place. Some have been really good, some have been not so really good. But overall, I think we got some pretty good content and people like it. So
yeah, thanks to Juan. You know, he was going through his situation with his dad, his father. So
yep, I keep asking him about that too. It's just you're kind of waiting on a court date there. So nothing's really progressed in that aspect. But everybody's looking. Positive thoughts and, praying that, everything works out for the best on that situation.
Absolutely.
But Juan's doing well and doing great.
Right. So yeah, still putting up with your jokes at work.
Yeah, he actually got moved to a different seat, so I don't see him as much as I do, and he's on the phone a little bit more. So yeah, I can't really interact with him like I like to. So yeah, it was funny. He kind of was going by the other day. I was driving to the break room, and he's like, "You can't cross this border," and I was like, "Is it not the other way around?" Or so it was kind of funny, but I'll be doing well, Juan. I don't see you at work anymore, so I'll say hi to you through the podcast.
He's like, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't listen to that anymore.
So yeah, exactly.
Man, over the past month, I haven't even seen you hardly. It's just been crazy,
dude. I've been working my ass off, man. I've been working really, really hard. We got. I'm just working.
Yeah.
I normally at least get 5-10 minutes down in your little department, say hello to everybody and catch up at least 2-3 times a week. And just lately, last probably month, I just haven't been able to. Work's just been busy.
It has been busy.
For the summer months.
Life's been busy. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought, it was just, it's been crazy.
This winter's going to be ridiculous.
I have 3 teenagers now. So
yes, you do.
My oldest is going on college trips, so I think he already has a plan. But still, that's what they do with the school that he goes to. So every other week for the next 2 months, they're going visiting different colleges.
Do they stay over?
No, it's typically a day trip.
Okay.
So I think the furthest they're going to go is maybe Memphis. So
it's a ride. Still,
it is. Yeah. Even that little cut around Nashville, it's still a pretty good ride.
I'm going to have to say, for a man who has 3 teenagers, you don't have a lot of gray hairs.
That's because my wife's awesome.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice. Props, bro.
Yeah. I have more... the gray is in the beard, not the top of the head. So
right,
the hair up here is just thinning out, and then the gray is just
in the beard. It's like more distinguished, I guess.
I reckon.
I don't know. It's just your outer shell, anyways. It's what's on the inside that counts.
It is. It is because it's my consciousness that's like actually me. So
I see what you did there.
Yeah, did you saw that? You saw
Holy segue, Batman!
Yes.
So
I'm so good at that.
That was amazing. That was well played.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stroke. I'm gonna stroke your ego.
I think what we need to do is just do that without pointing it out to everybody that we just segued. That will be true professionals.
But we're not there yet.
We are not there yet. We are not there yet.
We're still learning.
It'll be a long, long time before we get there. Yes, we are still learning.
We are.
Thank you, Grasshopper.
Absolutely. But kind of what triggered this is, I'm sure our topic today has been triggered by something that's been going around on social media. I'm sure everybody has seen it or at least bypassed it and flicked by at the speed of light. But with recent interview with Jim Carrey, where everybody's saying that he went nuts.
Yes.
Basically, and should I play part of that video? Should I just play the beginning? Because I feel like that's a long video. It's like 8 minutes and 34. It was posted by Prince A, which is Prince, Princea. It's at Prince A. You can look him up on Facebook. He has a lot of interesting stuff. You've probably seen a video that he did about education. As well.
We don't know. Honestly, we don't know about the copyright on it. So
we don't know about the copyright.
We want to give him all the props possible.
Yeah, because people have been giving Jim Carrey some shit, and then before this came out, there was that little online documentary about him painting. Taking some time off and trying to find himself.
Have you seen the?
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we posted it on our page.
Yeah, we posted that.
Yeah.
I think I know, and I'm an artist, and I haven't been in it forever, so I saw that it was pure inspiration when I. That's why I posted it on the page. I think everything in that video, regardless of it being 8 minutes or not, I mean, person's going to listen to a podcast, going to listen to the podcast. And I think every ounce of that has value. So I do think we should play the whole thing. Like I said, about the copyright thing, we're not trying to steal anything. This is a topic of conversation.
Absolutely. Everything
and
is,
all respect to this gentleman who did this.
And he has some interesting stuff on his page, too. I mean, I was kind of flicking through, I've seen him before,
yes.
And all props to him. This is his original content.
We're going to share his page, his video on our page,
yes,
and give all props to him, and so you can go to his page and check out his other stuff.
Before this podcast goes up, we'll probably drop this video probably a day or two before.
Yeah,
and then and we're playing it, but at the same time, if you want to pause it and go watch it, pause the podcast and watch it, I suggest doing that now. To kind of refresh you, but we are going to play it for you regardless.
Absolutely, and it does have a lot of merit, and it's kind of it sparks discussion, as well, because it's a lot to take in, but it's very interesting to take in. So let me pull that up. Just give me one moment.
There's no me actually at the end of it all. I realized that there was, that this character was making choices to play a character, that there was actually a existential, not a crisis, but a discovery going on,
Jim Carrey. Thank you. I see all these headlines. Jim Carrey goes insane. Jim Carrey freaks out. No, ladies and gentlemen, he is not trolling. He has not gone crazy. Jim Carrey is, as the cool kids say, woke. He is saying what Jesus, the Buddha, the gurus have said for thousands of years. We have just been too caught up in our churches, in our religions, in our material world to see this truth. A truth that is available to anybody who has the courage to stop and look. See, we have accepted the collective view of reality. But what if the collective view of reality is wrong? And what if Jim Carrey is right? We say that the sun rises, but the sun doesn't rise. The earth rotates in a way that the sun appears to come up. We say that the ocean is blue, but if I told you to go out to the ocean and bring me back a bucket of blue water, you could never do it. You could never do it because the water is clear, even though it appears to be blue. So what if we only appear to exist, but really don't? Let's find out.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No,
Was that an accident?
I didn't get get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
He is saying that the me, who we take ourselves to be, the ego, the story, is just a story. It's not real.
Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
Personality, person, coming from the Greek word persona, meaning mask. It's fake, and the ancients knew this.
Is that an accident?
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
It's just things happening.
Hey, you at home watching this, are you breathing right now? Is that true? Or is breathing happening? You are seeing right now. Is that true? Or is seeing happening? You may or may not be thinking right now. Is that true? Or is thinking happening? If you are the one thinking, then tell me, what is your next thought going to be? Pause this video right now and try it. Try it. Can you choose not to have thoughts arise? You can't, because thinking happens spontaneously. You are not the thinker. Thoughts happen. It is just happening, as Jim Carrey said. See, the ego or the I thought likes to take credit. The I thought is like that kid in class who we worked on group projects with. They didn't do anything except put their name on the paper and take credit. So likewise, the you, the I thought, doesn't really need to be there for functioning to happen. Are you the one that goes to sleep, or does sleep happen? Go ahead, try to go to sleep. It is only when you let go of trying to go to sleep can you go to sleep. Are you the one who wakes yourself up, or does waking up happen? Okay, so the shortest path to knowing who you are is knowing what you are not. So my first question is, can you be the subject and the object at the same time? Kind of a stupid question, right? The answer is no. What you perceive, you cannot be. Because see, there is the perceiver, and then there is the perceived, the subject and the object. For example, I perceive this phone. I cannot be this phone. I perceive this body. I am not this body. I have a car. I drive that car, but I am not that car. I never confuse myself to be the car. Well, I have a body. I drive this body, so I am not this body. Why do I confuse myself to be my body? It's my body. My body. Me, and then there's body. Make sense? I perceive the voice in my head, so I cannot be the voice in my head. The voice, aka the thoughts, come in and out of my awareness, but I remain to perceive their presence and their absence. I remain me. If I were the thoughts, then when they go, I would go too. But I remain because I am prior to the thoughts. So now the question is, to whom do the thoughts come? Take some time with this. Don't approach this question with the baggage society has given you. Let's find out with an open mind right here, right now. I am not giving you a belief system because belief systems are appropriately abbreviated BS. This is not dogma. If anything, this is catma. Let's find out right here, right now, what is true. Because you see, you can't get drunk from the word wine. You gotta drink it. And so you can't just listen to my words. You have to press pause and experiment with what I'm saying. Who are you? If you're not the mind, if you're not the body, what's left? Full stop. Quiet the mind. This unrepeatable miracle of a moment. It's simple. The mind likes to create strategies, and it always wants a complicated solution. But see, the mind is the wrong tool for this job. Who you are cannot be contained in the mind because it contains the mind. The mind can never contain it. You can know many things, but you can never mentally know the true self. You can only stay as the true self. The stillness, the beingness, the nothingness, emptiness, pure awareness, space. It is said that we mold clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. We fashion wood for a house, but it is the emptiness inside that makes it livable. Isn't it the space in between notes of music that make it beautiful? As you are reading the words on this video, didn't you overlook the space in between the words? We are the space, the nothingness, and we have overlooked the obvious. We are completely unaware of our true nature because we constantly identify ourselves as the body, as the emotions, as the thoughts, and so we lose sight of the unchanging center, which is pure consciousness. And so I just want to thank Jim Carrey for being a vehicle to express this obvious, self-evident, ancient, and beautiful truth. Peace.
It's about not only, just going with the flow, but it's about not taking it personal, It's like the difference between a house and my house is a world of difference, and it's the my that's the problem, So you can do all this without the my involved, You can do it in a way that it's not, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for, for the good of everyone. It's just it's a play. It's a giant, field of consciousness dancing for itself.
Well, there you go. Deep enough for y'all out there?
I would hope so. Because it calls a lot of questions, What are we?
Yep.
What is perception? Are we really the ones in control? And kind of, is there more? Because also there's a lot of things that comes from, I take away from that as well. Because basically everything's just happening. Are we really the ones in control? Is there something greater than us? I mean, I can get into religious, religious perspective as well. But I mean, it's even something that, modern, like, even because we were having this discussion a little bit earlier. Are we all connected on a level that we just can't perceive as well?
Okay.
Yeah,
that delves a little bit, further as far as the
right
connection. I think it's something we can explore.
We can explore, yeah. But so, what do you take away from that?
So when I first saw that, it seemed overwhelming. I thought, I've thought about things a lot, especially, through my divorce and self-introspection and all that. And I thought, I'm kind of, I'm a pretty deep thinker compared to the average person, with my ego, ironically. And then I saw that and was kind of like, what?
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is a lot deeper, and I feel like you kind of need a lot of humility to really absorb what he's trying to say there.
Right.
That you're not you. You, in essence, are kind of a reflection of who you are, or projecting who you want to be, but it's not you.
Right.
And where did you come from?
Where did the thoughts come from? Because you can't force thoughts.
And I found that.
Yeah, that was good.
It's like even like playing, like, on like playing music. Sometimes, like, something just hits you. Where did that come from? We take credit for it. Yeah, it was me, but was there something beyond? Did it just happen?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So
what hit me the most about the entire thing, that's just my perception of it, is, the molding of the clay into a pot. But it's the emptiness inside that makes it useful.
Right.
That whole perception of that. I was like, wow. It's pretty deep stuff.
It kind of, for me, kind of one of the first things, and I don't know how inappropriate or appropriate this is, for me, it kind of brought the whole, because it's such a hot topic in society today, gender roles and homosexuality and all that. I don't know why that came to the forefront of my mind when I first saw that. That your body is a shell and what is going on the inside and all that. Just I don't know why it popped in there. Just it kind of did. The perception, and is that an ego? And
because what we physically are, is that what we really are?
Yeah, like my disease. My body doesn't work too well, but is that a projection?
That's the way that came out was doesn't work too well.
But that's not who I am.
Yeah, you don't let it define you.
Right.
Exactly. So.
And that was the whole point of the podcast when we originally started it. Walk into my wills. That's what prefaced the entire idea.
Yeah. So I don't know. It kind of. I feel like I'm going in circles here. It's a really deep thing. It's hard to grasp and organize a thought with this, and present it in a way that could be received in an understanding manner. I kind of lean back towards to be able to absorb this. You need to have a lot of humility and be willing to let go of who you are as a person. And my humor, my jokes, the way I handle situations, the way I resolve situations.
Right.
What is that doing? That why am I doing the approach that I am doing to get that done or accomplished? Why do I make an inappropriate joke in the middle of something? I know there's a humor defense mechanism in there somewhere. Is that my ego? Is that me? Or is that my mind just fucking everything up? And
it just happens.
Yeah. Or does it just happen? Or is the thought there first? What is putting that joke in there?
Right. What's protecting what triggered
itself?
It?
Exactly. Where is that coming? Like he touched base on that.
And it's even talking like, you can't physically, you can't force yourself to go to sleep. I always find that when I'm like, okay, I have to wake up early tomorrow. I need to get sleep. I need to get a lot of rest. Whatever I did, I kind of wear myself out and I lay down, and almost every time I try and do that, I stay up way later. Exactly. And it's not until I let go of trying that it just happens.
Yes.
Yeah, but sleep is something that you can run from as well.
Right.
Because you can force yourself to stay up.
Right. You can force yourself to stay up. Usually for me, that involves thinking about going to sleep.
But again, your body will eventually shut itself down.
Right. It will shut itself down. You're just going to kind of pass out, sitting on the couch, or, laying in bed. Eventually you're going to be sitting there. You'll probably pass out in the middle of watching that video if you're watching it really late at night. Your body made that decision for you. Guess what? You're falling asleep, and now you got your phone in your hand. It happens.
I know when I go to bed at night, I watch my iPad until I cannot keep my eyes open. Or if I end up dropping it on my face or something like that, which has happened on multiple occasions.
Just lay it there, hover it over you,
and
just fall asleep and falls on your face.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it hurts too.
Right.
But but I have to be my brain has to be completely off for me to, if I have any things I'm dealing with, issues I'm dealing with, I'll be up all night long. Or I'll fall asleep and wake up thinking about if there's anything I'm concerned about. And once again, I think that's the whole letting go in order to fall asleep. It does just happen once nothing else is going on.
And I guess, letting go, of your brain completely, just to play on that, not about sleep, but maybe that's how people are so gifted in doing other things as well, is they are on the precipice of letting go, like people that are talented to write music, because people see things differently.
Yes,
like a beautiful piece of music that moves somebody's soul, because I think that's kind of what.
Metallica.
Yeah. So I think that's what part of what he was talking about is, if we're not the mind, we're not the body, then our soul is who we are.
Right. No, I see exactly what you're saying there. Well, what's interesting for me
is there a soul even? I mean, it's an empty vessel. What is it? Something outside that's driving the thoughts?
Well, I'll ask you something. Have you ever? The outside thing. Yeah. That's kind of like what I was going to get at.
Well, the outside thing is your soul.
the outside thing is your soul. Because if you think about it, have you ever
like a third-person shooter game?
No, but you know, well, think about this.
I mean, it's kind of, you see where I'm going with that.
That's a good correlation to that. I mean, I can see where you're talking about that, but
I am when I'm playing a video game, I'm controlling. I see the back of my character.
Your soul has no concept of time and or material.
See, kind of what I always, and I've had this weird thing, and it was, and I probably just experienced it like playing music, like jamming with people, is when I've noticed it probably the most. And I was talking about this a little bit earlier, and I don't think it really strays. You said it might stray far. I don't think it strays far at all, because I feel like people connect, or we are connected, or we are one on a level that we don't understand. You know, if you think about it, I mean, what we are made of, actual materials, like atomically, I mean, was factored from, like, you know, like was built inside stars. You know, we are stardust, you know, when it comes down to. And when I noticed it playing music, I remember I was one morning, I was like, my parents had the news on, and there was this guy on there who's talking about crowd intelligence and talking about how there's all these different instances where, you know, one person may not know a lot, but multiple people combined have a greater perception of what's going on, almost to the point where we don't even realize. And there was a couple of instances. One, we were talking about, like, with how the French, like how France deals with terrorism, how they do their intelligence gathering. They don't like do like wiretaps or, like, you know, get like single individual people. What they do is they'll go out and go out into the community where they think like things could possibly be happening, you know, based on, like, you know, whatever triggers, and they'll ask a few people, you know, just ask a lot of different people information, and then collectively they don't realize it, but they know something.
Yeah.
You know, they know something, you know, in full. And, you know, there was also another instance during that interview, and it was really quick, that they were talking about that after World War II, the United States, we had all these excess battleships. Some of them were getting ready to be retired. You know, some of them were outdated, you know, with what technology they had there. So they were sinking them, you know, creating artificial reefs. So they used it as a chance to experiment. And they took a battle group, and there was about 1,000 soldiers, you know, in this battle group. And they took them out to the middle of the ocean. And in a 1,000 square mile area, it was 100 miles by 100 miles, they sunk this ship. It was, you know, being ready to be decommissioned anyway. They sunk it, and they gave everybody a map, basically, and we're like, just point on the map where you think it is. You know, you don't have to, you know,
think a wild guess, kind of.
Just take a wild guess. Just point where you think it is. And when they took all of those data points and they mapped it to where, like, everybody thought, like, that hot spot was, it was accurate within, like, 15 feet of where they sunk it.
In regards to that's it's an incredible point. And while you were saying that, it reminded me of this thing I saw, and I don't have the details on it. I couldn't tell you where it came from. I can just give a generalization of what it was. Okay. And it was kind of a computer program that took the general mood of the world, and something, I don't know what, it became elevated, and it's tracked somehow. It became elevated, and before major world events, this happens, and they track it, and like they tracked it before 9/11. You know, it happened before
like earthquakes and things like that, like major events.
It's something that can be read. I don't know what it is. I think it revolves around a mood or something ethereal of some sense.
Okay.
But yeah, they're able to track it and sense. It's like a sense as a whole. You know, just like birds fly across the sky when, you know, something bad happens. You know, like animals can sense things before they happen.
Well, maybe our ego gets in the way of our sixth sense.
Oh, I believe that. I believe our ego ruins everything. I mean, look at Facebook and the way people are. It's right. It just the majority, not the majority, but a lot of the comments is people saying, "I don't care what you think about me," and, you know, F this person who wants to think that way, and it just, you know, somebody just like shitting on some person that
they
doesn't exist or don't know. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, you can't keep me down. Who's you?
Who is you? You know, and exactly. Yeah. And also,
so it's like shut up. You know, let's breathe. You know, and let's like examine yourself. Why do you have to be so defensive about yourself?
Yeah.
Why can't you just be yourself?
Right.
You know.
Well, you just said something, just breathe. I mean, that's something that our bodies automatically do, but I think people take that for granted.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, just take a moment. Breathe.
Yeah. Well, I was like looking at this thing that was there was another thing. It was like just like how we have like superhuman abilities that we don't realize that we have. They were talking about like the physics of hitting a fastball.
Okay.
That the amount of time that it takes for a pitcher to wind up, throw like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, right?
Yeah, and it's coming to you. It's coming to you from 66 feet away.
Right, and that distance for somebody to react and hit it right on time, perfectly square, it's almost like for like reaction time. It's also almost like physically impossible.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be able to work, but it's almost like a precognitive ability. And it's something that I've noticed, like when you're playing like music with people. There's this there's this like, it's just the way you can feel what other people are about to do.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a jamming situation, it's interesting, even with people you've never played with before, how you can be sitting in a group or you're just like, you're going, you're playing, you're all like, in the same key. And I mean, of course, there's a lot of, you have to have a certain level of experience to, be able to play with other people anyway.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you have these changes happen and it's like everybody saw it coming simultaneously and it just happens. Like there's some kind of, and there's no words. There might not even be a visual cue.
And there's people of every different color, every different race. Some people may not even speak the same language.
Right. Like those guys playing piano in the airport. They never met before and they just start playing piano together.
Yeah.
I'm
just lost for words right now.
Yeah, it's beyond what. So is it really like, are we, and that's the question, is like, for me, I mean, it's like, yeah, we did that, but it's like, did we really do that? Did we really play that? Did we really get there, like, consciously, or did it just happen?
So is coincidence?
There you go. That's a good way of putting it.
Or did something just align? Did the thing that created the thought, is that really one? And is that what brings people together, provided you allow yourself to have those thoughts and follow it? A pure instinct, if you will.
Reminds me of Dr. Malcolm from Jurassic Park. Sorry, I had to.
I like how we're going to support our deep thoughts with
Jurassic Park,
with pop culture. Oh, the irony in that, huh?
Yeah.
Is it really irony though? I don't know.
Does it really exist?
First of all, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, we know. We covered that in a previous podcast.
Soundtrack.
Wow.
John Williams, soundtrack to my soul.
Absolutely.
So, sorry, I'm just.
No.
Never apologize for who you are.
I was just correlating it, man, because the whole
what's the relation?
Butterfly effect,
Right. Yeah.
So
it's an interesting thought because we put so much. There is so much ego, in what we do. The I. How much can I really take credit for when I can see all these different instances where things just naturally align? They just happen.
Absolutely, I fully agree with that.
Because the world is going to keep spinning whether you're here or not. So
and that's the whole thing with life. I mean, I'm sitting in my living room doing a podcast with two of my friends in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a place I never considered living, wanted to live.
I never actively sought out to be your friends. No. I didn't actively seek out to be in this podcast. It was kind of one of those things that, well, honestly, if I know myself, this is not the kind of thing I'd normally participate in. You know? So when you called me about it, and mind you, at that point, I mean, we're friends, but we hadn't been working with each other. Yep. This was like a thing that was happening between you and a bunch of guys at work. And there was more of us, by the way. This was going to be kind of, I think that it was interesting.
We had like 5 or 6 people.
It was going to be 5 or 6 people, and if you think about it, if you really think about it, would it have worked if it was 5 or 6 people?
Absolutely not.
Because it would have been too much to listen to. having 3 people almost feels like it's perfect.
It'd be like watching the Wu-Tang Clan live.
Yeah, Wu-Tang's awesome, but watching Wu-Tang live is difficult.
Everybody just screaming over each other, just
Right.
Oh, everybody's a hype man.
Shit. But this kind of just happened. What am I doing here? Because as a, if you look really back at it, how did I get to this point where I'm sitting here with you two gentlemen?
Yes.
In your living room having a discussion about perception.
And is it even real?
Is it even real?
Does it exist? Do we exist?
Kind of going.
You used to live in Boston. You used to live in Phoenix.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
While I was in school for a short amount of time.
I mean, Derek's been in Florida, Connecticut.
Yes. Ended up here because we had 4 hurricanes in a row, and my ex-wife's parents moved up to Dalton. I lost my job. Unemployment. I went 1 month with unemployment possibly being a scare and not getting it. My ex applied for a job up here. Got a job after a 10-minute conversation. I'm here because of a 10-minute conversation.
Right.
With somebody that worked in a hospital. That's...
Right.
And...
So how much control do we really have?
None. I've had several conversations with a friend named Brett. And he touched base on willpower. And his belief on that, and to a very strong degree, I believe this also, is we really do not have willpower. Because every action that we do, every decision we make is really not our decision. It's a reaction based on our past events. We're going to react that way regardless. Not that the action cannot be predictable, even if changing your mind last minute to do something else, that's not your will. That's just what would have happened anyways.
Right. I mean, like my reaction to say yes to doing the podcast was based on the fact that in the past, in every other instance where I was probably put in a situation like that, I'd probably have been like, no, I have too much going on.
Some excuse.
There's some excuse. It was just a conscious, I don't know if it was a conscious effort. I was just like, I'm not going to make an excuse.
Yeah.
And
this seems like it's different. It might be fun.
Screw it. I said, screw it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I even said it like that. I was like, normally I wouldn't. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, man. Let's do this.
Yes.
Because
it was that type of answer.
Quick conversation, and all those other people fell off, and here we are. This is the core crew.
Exactly.
For walking my wheels.
You think Destiny exists?
Yeah, part 1 and 2. It's on PlayStation.
It's also coming to PC shortly.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they tried to do that whole GTA thing where, let's get them to buy the same game twice. Yay. Shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, no.
So anyways, does Destiny in predetermined Destiny?
Right. I don't think that things are predetermined.
Well, you hit on willpower, and I know that it's a reaction, but if you set your mind to something, it's like that's going to be my destiny. Or do you think of destiny as a predetermined destiny? Something that's going to happen regardless?
I think that, the way I would think about it, just because I see he's puzzled, it's first thought that comes to my head.
I think I broke Derek.
No.
I'm mulling this for a second.
He's mulling this for a second.
Yeah.
I've given thought to that. Is it really that it was predetermined, or do we just not understand the concept of what was the muse to what, why are we so driven? What actually triggered that? Was that an internal decision? Because I can't say that anything that I've ever done, was that an internal decision to, when I decided...
What are you driven to do, though? What is the purpose of humanity? We are not creatures that are supposed to be sitting in chairs all day working 9 to 5 with 401k.
As I've gotten older, I've realized that I'm happiest when I have the ability to love and give and make other people laugh and joy and happiness. I think I think the purpose of life is to try to enjoy it as much as possible and bring good into this world.
It's because, it's like feeding off of a positive energy almost, or feeding into a positive energy.
Yeah. I mean, bad shit happens.
That's the whole thing behind. Well, I read a little article about the thing behind Interstellar, that Matthew McConaughey movie. I love it.
Phenomenal movie. Have you seen that?
I haven't actually seen it.
They're talking about how we're all connected by love, and it's like the fifth dimension. That's what brings him back at the end. Was
good. Spoilers.
Love.
Spoilers.
Well,
no, it's obviously.
No, because that movie, I mean,
it's a big full circle.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't ruin anything, actually.
No, I gotcha. That also doesn't ruin movies for me because, for me, it's the vehicle. It's like the actual roller coaster of emotion. And that's what it is. It's like I'm being taken on a journey. And that's sometimes how I feel life is, as well. There's this whole entire weird thing about perception also, and I just want to kind of touch upon it. Like, what we're perceiving, is it what is actually happening? Or is it just a single point of view? I
don't know. It's like watching a football game or something.
Well, if you think about but think about even there's really basic things. Like we know that like different animals based on like just their physiology, like their eyes, like dogs, they perceive color differently than we do because they don't have the cones in their eyes to see color at our...
So is color really color? It's just the way we see color.
It's just the way we see color because color is a spectrum. We know that it is because we know that infrared exists.
Yep.
We know that ultraviolet exists.
Yep.
We're not seeing the full spectrum of color.
What about people that are colorblind?
What about that damn dress that was on the internet?
Yes. Do not bring up that damn dress. What the hell's wrong with you?
Seriously.
Yep. Stop the podcast. We're done here.
No, I'm just saying, like my blue shirt. I mean, am I seeing a different color blue than you guys?
Yeah. Or can we all agree it's blue?
Right. Or even
if somebody's colorblind, are they really colorblind, or are they just seeing the way they see?
Right. Or also, like touch is a sense. We're not actually, and nothing actually ever touches.
Correct.
Because of just on a subatomic level, everything, it's just that everything's repelling each other. But also, are we actually even here? Because even like the atom, it's like 99.9% of the atom is like empty space, or there's no interaction between like the quarks and things that are like within it.
We are mostly air.
So, air is also it's a gas. It's like, but we're mostly empty space.
Yes.
Ultimately. So how much of you really does exist?
If we're empty space, what can we kind of like that
the vase,
the pot thing they talk about in the video.
So all right, so then let's backtrack a little bit, guys, and kind of let's focus on our personalities and our thoughts, and not necessarily our physical nature. Because we've kind of established, and based on the video that we watched, is we are the house. Our body
we're
is
the empty space that is within the house. Right.
Well, no, let's consider our bodies the house.
Okay.
And our thoughts, spirit and soul, that type of thing.
What fills the house?
Yeah, what fills the house. Now, what happens when we die? So in the past couple weeks, say 3 weeks, literally like 4 or 5 different people have gotten into a conversation with me regarding your soul and your spirit when you die.
Right.
Like some people about heaven, some people about just existing, or your energy moving on type of thing.
Right.
So to live, you basically have perpetual energy coming from your brain, telling your body what to do, telling your muscles how to move, telling your heart to continue to beat without you telling it how to beat, breathing without telling you how to breathe. So your body stops. Where does that energy go now? And where does that energy get fed? Because you need to feed your body for that to work, because you're feeding your brain. So when you die, you have a soul and a spirit. Your spirit is just your life force. Your soul is who you are, your personality, that type of thing. So your soul no longer will exist. Your spirit will go into your spirit energy or force or whatever will go into whatever dimension it goes to heaven for some people, to back into the
abyss
energy, for others, whatever you think it does. But your soul, your personality, who you are. People say you go to heaven and you'll see your aunt again, or your grandparents.
Right.
But it's them, because you know them as their personality, your perception of them on Earth.
I think that goes back to consciousness though, because you may, though, to me, I think that, wherever you go, when you pass, there'll be a level of acknowledgement, and content there. But like the physicalness is gone, so you won't know. They won't have a name or a body.
But will you know? Hey, that was my
you will feel
grandmother from that person. More soulmate-ish.
You will feel more complete. There will be that.
If you think about,
there will be that consciousness connection.
Like energy, like if you think about even like on an atomic level, it's just hold on. It's
like destiny and your light getting bigger.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this is, it's the me, the one
that's
Jim Carrey,
right?
The Jim Carrey, that's the I. The I doesn't exist. That's your perception. That's what you're putting
ultimately.
Out as I.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you die, I doesn't exist anymore. So you
wouldn't know.
You are energy.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be aware of what you were.
If you even look at
your light would get
a
little brighter, I think. Just kind of think
of it like the way I think of it is like this.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
The way I think of it is that because, as you know, and I am an atheist, so I don't believe in the human construct of heaven and hell. However, if you've ever been to an open casket funeral, you know the thing that is that person.
The shell.
The shell. That it's just a shell. That, that person is gone. You know what it is.
Shell Beach.
Shell Beach. It's Schlaf Beach.
Schlaf.
Bitch.
Okay.
Well, anyway.
For anybody get that joke, listen to last week's podcast, please.
Absolutely. Well, anyway. So my whole entire point...
Just dead bodies just like all over the beach. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Such a fucking child.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well, where was I going with that?
Shalaf.
No. Well,
the shell of a body, open casket.
Open casket. You see that person, like, what you know is that person is no longer there. If you think of scientifically, you cannot create or destroy energy.
Yeah, because they can't breathe life back into the body.
Right. They can't breathe life back into the body. What is gone is gone. But it had to have gone somewhere. What has it turned into? What has it attracted to? That whole entire concept of you feeling more complete, is it just that because, like, you or through your family, you're not created, it's just a continuation of the same energy that you would wind up being attracted back to it? Because you think that, like, look at, like, hydrogen and oxygen atoms. They want to complete themselves. Why is it, like, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, they just naturally combine. They want to combine. Would that be the same thing that would happen with your energy? Is that why you'd feel more complete, because you kind of return to that source?
Or would the energy just become weakness? Would you just kind of fade? Kind of like...
or would you just be attracted to whatever happens to be nearby?
Kind of like when you turn the electricity off, the electricity is just gone.
I don't
because
think
you're
so.
not feeding it. You're not feeding it food anymore. I mean, it's in our body.
Well, it's still there. It's just going somewhere else. It's just you're cutting off that. You're cutting off when you cut off the light switch. Are you really removing the electricity, or are you just keeping it from going?
It's like when your hair and nails still grow when you're dead.
Take a helium balloon and it's a ribbon is attached to like a teddy bear, and you cut or whatever it's attached to. Sorry.
But thank you for that visual. Bears are always on his mind.
Where the fuck are you going with this, man? Imagine, picture, if you will, a helium balloon attached to a teddy bear.
A balloon attached to a teddy bear. By the way, that reminds me, I need to go to a birthday party later.
Oh, gosh.
No,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Attach a balloon to a ribbon to a piece of ice.
The name of the podcast is going to be Balloons and Teddy Bears.
The ice melts, the body dying.
Ice balloons.
What's going to happen to the balloon? It's going to float away. It's still going to be there, but it's not going to be attached to the body.
Yeah, but that's in a physical sense.
I'm just giving you an analogy, man.
No, I get the analogy. It's still all a physical thing. Maybe the air, the helium. What happens to the helium inside? Does it just disappear? It's still something physical.
No, the helium probably doesn't disappear. It might.
But the helium inside is not representing what I'm talking about.
But
the balloon itself is representing your soul that's attached to your body. So when the body goes away,
the soul's gone. But then your spirit,
it's still there. It doesn't evaporate and melt like the body.
Okay.
Physical and gases.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it's So separated there. Solids and gases.
It's been a good conversation.
It's been a good podcast.
Yeah, it has.
Until Grizz starts talking.
Wow.
Till the teddy bear opened his mouth. Nah, man.
You calling him a teddy bear?
Sometimes.
Is that how you perceive him?
Only when I'm cuddling with him.
Oh, shit.
Which is not often lately since his love life's good.
So, but anyways, thank you. Yeah, you're right.
Your service bear is no longer needed.
Service bear. I know. Now he just picks up my laundry.
But
yeah, I think. I mean, this is a massively deep conversation.
This can be because I've had conversations like this where, like with perception and reality and like what are we can sit here for until the end of damn time.
Exactly.
Probably.
But we're not going to.
But we're not going to.
I think we're going to actually wrap it up and kind of move forward and let y'all talk amongst yourselves and talk to your friends and neighbors and
stop.
If you have any comments, put it on our page. Just let us know what you think about it.
Right.
Facebook or email us and all that stuff is at the
because
end
ultimately also your perception and you're going to base your perception and your thoughts based on your life experiences.
Exactly.
So I'd be interested to see everybody else's thoughts on this.
Definitely.
So, comments. We are, of course, yet again, because that whole entire segment, it was not created by us. That was, by Prince A, at Prince EA. It's all, one word. You can look him up on Facebook. I saw he's also on Twitter, Instagram.
Yes.
As well. It sparks some good conversation because
Correct.
It's not something that you think about every day because a lot of times we are wrapped up in the ego, what is, what we consider I and what we perceive to be
I'm guilty of that
reality.
too until I thought Jim Carrey was crazy until I saw that video, and that video helped me take the blinders off, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It just people can be weird, but that's just because it's not our perception of norm. What's normal?
Right, and then that comes down to what is actually normal, but that's a whole different podcast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
on that note,
let's wrap this up, guys. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up? Okay, he's not going to say anything. That's silence.
Spiral out.
So, keep going. Nice.
Yeah. Hashtag through the never.
There you go.
Twisting, turning through the never.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. What are you doing later?
Editing that. Editing that out.
Oh, no.
Was that a Freudian slip?
All right. Well, hashtag be love. Thanks everybody for listening. This was a fun podcast to do. I enjoyed it. So
it was.
I'll remember everybody. Even a perceived speed bump can be a jump.
What? Did you ever actually hit the speed bump though?
Thank you for supporting Walking in My Wheels. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you have something to say, email us at walkinginmywheels@gmail.com. Keep being awesome people and hashtag be love.